Yes, we are able to start. This is unfortunately the case. Thank you everyone for coming here. Now, this is the best part of Indieway, the evaluation of indie games. We have Can Sungur, Güven Çatak as our jury, and some of the games are here physically, and they will be sharing their presentation, and some of them are also going to connect to us online. And we have the list here. Now we are starting with Smashboard on physically here, which are physically here. Let's get you here. Can you open this? Where is the file? Is this yours? Hello everybody, I'm Atedeniz Oktaş. We have a team of 4 people. I'm gonna lower the sound a bit. We have a team of 4 people and we have started in May, and Smashboard has been developed for the last 2 months, and I am the project manager, and I also focus on programming. We have 1 designer, game design and level design. We have also pixel artist, and we have a musician called Yusuf. He's also taking a look at the sound design. As you can see, the main mechanics are pretty understandable. On the left, we have 5 grid points. These small tiles are actually, we are able to take damage. So we have to run away from areas that have marks, and we have to create areas for ourselves to damage. There were some games that we were, the visuals and the sound is usually, of course, Katana Zero, and similar to, inspired by Katana Zero. And also another game we are inspired by is Undertale and One Stop from Heaven. You must have heard of them. And also we thought about what can we add as in this Souls genre, and we wanted to create patterns, and we didn't want to have random patterns, so that gamer can the player can learn the patterns. There is a newer video we have, but we couldn't make it work on this laptop. So if you would like to see the Steam pages or other social media pages, you can ask me here. We had a QR code on the updated video, but we are hoping to finalize the game by the end of July, and in November, after being a part of Steam Next Fest, we will publish the game. And having this presentation in Indieway, I would like to thank the team and organizers for this opportunity. Thank you. Is Quadrata here? Yes. Have you sent any files? Hello, I am Alperen. Now this is my game, Quadrata, which is a puzzle game with minimal graphics, and in both sides we have characters and they move at the same time with the same controls, and our purpose is going through the blue dot.
Есть паблишеры. Пока что я вижу, что только гейм-девелоперы что-то рассказывают про свои игрушки. Сейчас? Кузьми детей с собой.
Я хочу один походить.
Ну походи.
We have muted them. Sorry about the inconvenience. And the future levels, we see walls and there are some angles, so you have to have a strategy. We are also having enemies and they are moving one block in the way that they are showing, and we also have portals being added, and which allows us different routes. There are a lot of different mechanics. This is just the demo right here, and the Steam page is most likely going to open this week. Thank you very much. Adanat is online. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, you can share your screen. All right, I will be sharing my screen. I am not able to share my screen. Could you try again, please? Sure. Can you see now? Yes. Hello, everyone. everybody. I am from Ancient Gears, Togay. I am the project manager, and I'm going to talk about Alanını today. We started in April 2021. I had started this by myself. Now we have a volunteer team. This is a narrative-focused, linear, episodic action adventure type of game. After an outbreak and rebellion, we see the story of Alanını. Now, this story is taking place in a world that is not only two-dimensional, but you can also go towards depths, and there are enemies, and we can use short range and long range weapons, and there's a minimal functional skill tree. We try to get inspired from other genres, and we are thinking about 10 hours of gameplay and 7 different maps. And the first map you can see, this is about the demo, and we have shared the pre-alpha currently, and when the Steam page opens, I think in the next month we will have a second publishing. It's not a platform, it's mostly action, adventure, and hack and slash. We are a volunteering team, we are a small team, and we hope that we can have maybe investors or publishers here. I would like to greet everybody and thank you all for this opportunity. Now we have Mafia Wars, Vendetta, Mafia Wars. Can we make it full screen? I can't see, but would it work if I were to do this? Hello everybody, I am from Crystal Shark Games, Mehmet. Now we have a strategy-based Vendetta Mafia Wars, and this game takes place in the 40s in United States. And in our game, we have 6 different families, and you pick one of them and you can fight to other families, or you can create your own character, and again, you can fight with all the families. This was something like Age of Empires and Company of Heroes, our idea, but compared to other Mafia games or strategy games, because they are usually turn-based, we want to remove this turn-based feature, and we want a real-time strategy game is what we are trying to do. And we have some region capturing. You capture specific regions from the other families, and you can set up restaurants, bars, or casinos, and you will gather resources from these different things. It can be manpower or ammunition or money, and it will have different designations in the game as well. In the video that you're seeing, you can see we are creating different soldiers or mafia members. This is not close to be finalized, of course, but what you can see right here, this is the graphics that we'll have at the end of the game. Now you can see different choices and mechanics. You can get missions, and you can also do these missions to gain. And we have an economy management system, so a mission system. There's a problem right here, but I think the building of a family, and in the last 2 months, I think we will try to add multiplayer. And for the diplomacy you will be able to have diplomacy with other families. For example, in Age of Empires, there were other systems like double teams, but we will focus on diplomacy and everyone will be starting equal, and we hope to create a realistic strategy game. They are showing some mechanics right here. Usually street design will be like this, and in the future we will also implement driving and drive-by shootings. Also, we are trying to create some region capturing systems, like, well, as you can see, this is still being developed. This game has been only developed for about a month or two. This is some screenshots from alpha. Again, street visuals have some for these themes. We have another visual right here as well. Thank you very much to all of you for listening to me. Derelict Kingdom. Derelict Kingdom. Hello everybody, how are you? I am very happy to be here. Now, my game is Derelict Kingdom Ancient Lie, and this is an isometric game. Let me show the mechanics first. As you can see, it looks great. The graphics are great, and the game will have a very simple mechanic, and it is going to have a mechanics from chess. It's going to be extremely easy to learn the mechanics, but it's going to be very hard to master it. So what is our target point? It is narrative. I've written the screenplay, and this is our map, and I don't want to give any spoilers, but in the story we have the ancient lie in the ancient area, and Alexander Silverhand is what we are playing. There's a big rebellion in the country, and we are going to stop this rebellion. Then as something happens which I don't want to reveal, and at the end of this opening story, we have choices to how to become a ruler. Maybe we can be a ruler, we can create a republic. So we are mixing sandbox and turn-based action. This is from chapter 1, the visuals. We will die a lot, I can guarantee that. Hopefully it won't be extremely hard. And I would like to show you some of our cinematics. Now, the models we have in our game is, first of all, Divinity, Baldur's Gate are great inspirations to us. Of course, we won't have the same quality, but what we are inspiring to have is the RPG and character development, and especially dialogues with the NPCs, and being able to create your own story is what we want to achieve. It's an open world. It is a half open world. We have a big area, but you can't freely go around. You're going to have to use the train system in the game. Maybe not all of you have played, but I can give an example of Mass Effect. Like exploring planets with the spaceship. And what we are going to do is, in a universe which uses trains and swords, we will be exploring with what we have, and that is the idea. And we will be publishing in October. I hope you all will be wishlisting our games. Thank you. Dracula's Castle. Are you here, Dracula's Castle? Grind Age?
Yes, hello.
Case files, that of Paulette Williams. Yellow. Hello Phone Office. Lords of Ravage. We don't have them either. Anybody who would like to present right here, right now? Islands of the Creatures. Are you going to share a video? Go ahead. Islands of the Creatures is the name of the game. First of all, hello everybody. I am Tarkan Karagünik. I am 20 years old. I've been using Unity for 7 years. I've been developing in Unity. I've been developing this game by myself. This is an action adventure game, and it has RPG elements. And I will talk about my plans in the open world. And if I were to talk about what I want to do with the game is, we have an ecosystem which is being developed right now for human and the natural life. In addition to that, if we were to talk about how I am using this system, everything is procedurally generated other than main games. main story missions. That's how I plan to develop this game. Fel is the name of our main character. He can use magic, and there are different gods. When one of them is chaos god, one of them is fire god. They can be good or bad, and this area has a bad chaos god, and special power is they can revive people, but they revive as skeletons. Other than that, there are water gods which live underwater, so we won't be able to see them much, but they have an important place in the story. And the final goal is destroying all the holy beings in the island and receiving their powers. For example, when you first kill a golem, you receive a power about gravity, which can, or another enemy gives you a time-based power. Thank you very much.
And be a lighter. Not here. Yes. Hello, I'm Radşen Begic, and I am 21 years old. Our team is only 2 people, me and my friend. Our game is a first-person game, a story-based linear game that will be published on Steam. The game is based on a real story. It's about a submarine in Black Sea. There's one submarine crashes with a vessel and gets down, and most of the soldiers die, and then just a 4th soldier survives, and it's a story about their survival. And the game goes with one perspective of one of the soldiers there. So, as I said, we are developing this game with my friend. I hope it will be published on 4th of April 2023. Next up is your challenge. If you want, you can do full screen. Hello. The game is different. Our game is based on hypercasual game, so let me start right away. We are a team of 6 people, and soon we will create games for other types, especially the for PC. Our game that we would like to present here is a simple game. As you can see, there's sound. Maybe you can just volume it down. All right. Sorry for the noise. Here, we try to get an effect. As you can see, the mechanic here is very traditional one, very simplistic. But when we change the contents, the graphics, is a game that we tested the performance, and 80%. We increased the retention 80% by 80%. And as a company, we have more than 120 games. And in summary, this is how it is. Maybe we can match. So it's exaggerating. Sounds becomes more aggressive. So in every level, a different mechanic is presented. It's a very experimental one, very basic. So in terms of sounds, we will work on that. So this is how it is, a different level, as you can see. And apart from that, we're working on hyper casual games for 2 years. I hope in our next meeting, we will be presenting our project for PC. Thank you. Ninja's Dungeon. So let me introduce myself. I'm Bahadur. We are based in Yıldız Teknik University, Teknokent. After 40 years, we invested in game and game design. There are 4 games that we're working on. This is one of the first games. It's published on many platforms. Let us talk about the story. The story is in Japan. There's one samurai. The samurai army invades the Japan. There is one ninja that was captured by them, and then that ninja needs to escape from that dungeon. So there are 50 dungeons. And then the 5th one, it gets into a fight with Akusamo, the evil samurai. There are some traps on the way, and you shouldn't be prevented by traps. And there are many features of the evil ones, of the antagonists. You need to take all the traps and get over all of the obstacles levels, and you need to face with the main evil character. You can choose your heroes. There are close range, wide range enemies. You collect diamonds. You can get new weapons. You can choose different types of ninjas. Thank you. We have a VR game. This is come. All right, so do our juries need time for evaluation, or you completed your evaluation? Do you want to come here? We need to hear about the evaluation here because, you know, we don't want any technical problems in terms of sound. So we completed all of our games. So now we are here with our physical participants and online participants. Maybe we can get a short evaluation from you, one by one, to the floor. I can open the lists. All right. There is a list. Smash Bros. Quadrata, Adanats. So general evaluation. Then I will compile the ratings in the meantime. So first of all, congratulations for your efforts. It's great to see that the number of games in this field is increasing and it's being developed. This is our first time that we conducted this meeting in a hybrid manner. Before, when we organized this meeting online, we used to have more projects from abroad, but this time we have more projects from Turkey. So taking my role as professor, I need to provide some critics on some of our games. Smashboard is a great synthesis. You provided many references. However, I think you are using many references at the same time and excessively. Maybe you should leave some of them because you need to have an original work to get a good reference synthesis. Maybe you should reduce the number of these references that you use. This is my opinion. Quadrata is a good puzzle game. Maybe I think in terms of experience, it needs an identity. It can be abstract or concrete, but usually it needs an identity. That's for sure. Donut is a platform. No, it's a very action adventure game. Looks very nice. And I'm really curious about it. Sometimes it changes some cam. I wonder how the game is impacted, but if the flow is really great there, no problem. Vendetta, 20s, Mafia Wars, all of these concepts are really something I really like. Very new game, isn't it? Yes, it has been recently published, but I think there is instability in terms of camera choice. Islands of the Creatures. I don't really remember it in Hands of the Creatures. You should give me a hint. Yeah. Okay. Islands of the Creatures. I should think about it. because I couldn't remember. Handbill lighter is starting from a good story, but we couldn't actually see the whole story. And in that type of submarine games can be successful if you can create a good feeling of fear atmosphere there, because in the submarines, when you get stuck in the submarines, you know, it's an automatic cemetery for you. So if you use that concept, then you can take this game into a good place. But I think we couldn't just catch that up yet. Ninja's Dungeons is a project that I know. I think it has a good playability, very good platform project, but a platform game, very good one. If everything goes well for it. We really need that kind of games. Games, I think it's a project that can hold us for a long time. And apart from that, is there any game that I skipped? Grand Age, how was it like? Is it like Minecraft? Yeah, it might be, because every game is similar to the other ones, you know. Games resemble with each other. In order to describe a game, you know, Minecraft meets Hotline Miami. When you say that, something comes up to the minds of people, because every references are building upon overlapping each other, you know. So Grind Age is a great trial. Like chess one, right? Is it? Sorry. It was hard to, you know, remember all the things. My memory is good, but maybe not that good. So a chess-like game, a traditional game, is merged with an action game. Very good idea. But you know, in chess, there's a move and you are thinking on your moves. There's tactical atmosphere. I'm wondering whether that tactical environment will be there as well. Is it like you're waiting for a move? Well, if it's so, maybe can be interesting one. Maybe we can go back to the Baldur's Gate. It has a Baldur's Gate reference, is it? Yeah. If that game contains thinking and making a move, maybe a good one. So that's all from me. Sorry if I skipped one. Just my comments are based on seeing, you know, the games, because I'm just looking at the lists. Okay, I can give the floor to you. Should I use the mic? Hello. So we'll just skip through all of the games. It's hard to, you know, give a proper feedback. It's up to now, as you know, in Indieway, we always together with Mr. Güven. By the way, surprisingly, we have just met with him after 3 years physically. You know, Mr. Güven is talking academically, but my feedback is based on a sincere comments. My comments will be based on the idea whether I would buy your game if it was on Steam. Smashboard has great mechanics, and that in a short time. There's a game like Everhood. It was similar to that one, and an Everhood, it's a rhythm-based one. It's like escaping from move. You know, your opponent is predicting your move because there should be other things, other traps changing all the time. And you gave example from Undertale. Undertale, you know, you need to that mentality like puzzle game. So you're moving all the time, but you know, my movement's based on particular structures. And also there's a sound problem. Maybe you should work on that as well. Quadrata. It can have some issues on being a abstract game. Maybe if you bind it with a narratology, then you can achieve something. You know, you provide an abstract, but you need to develop your narratology. But you are, I think, preferring to go for Steam and a platform. The medium is important there. The mechanic is good. 15 years ago, there was a game like High School. Puzzle game is great, so I wish good luck for you. Adana. So in terms of speaking of Adana, I had the opportunity to play, but in the game you're escaping all the time from something. I couldn't wrap my mind about it. And I think you focused on level design and designed so much. I think in terms of gameplay, the game lacks something. Mafia Wars has great mechanics. Actually, I have a request for everyone. Maybe you noticed as well, Nizan Dungeon presentation was the best presentation because in that presentation, I've learned everything. You have the opportunity to get some information on developing yourselves by participating in such events. You know, the vertical slides is important in presenting your ideas in games, because now I feel like I am a guest at your house and listening to you while you explain your game in a sloppy way. In dungeons, you know, in that presentation, I had the opportunity to see many mechanics all at the same time, so that I could perceive myself buying it. So sometimes you explain many things in a very beautiful way, but sometimes you're not able to explain everything in detail, and then sometimes we cannot understand it. So in your presentation, especially, you know, the PowerPoint was more heavy and was great. Lines on the Creatures is a procedural one. I really like them. I hope you can achieve your goals. You know, procedural games are difficult one and tricky one. Maybe you can do both a fixed and procedural game like that Diablo. I really like sandbox games, actually. You know, it's great that you get confronted by new things all the time. There are some companies trying to create and narrate. So, for example, you're dying in the game and you get reborn, and then you are born in a different island, a different adventure is waiting for me. So there's a crazy narratology competence of procedural games. Maybe you can use that. So that submarine game, you know, that submarines are not like that. You know, the visual that you showed us is not like wide. Submarines are narrow ones. It looks like spaceship. So it's at the early age. So you might have played Resident Evil. It has a Resident Evil has some atmosphere, some spaces are included in the game, and very claustrophobic is something that was reflected on those games, and you need to increase that claustrophobic so that you can increase the experience of fears. Maybe you can add some pollution, something like oxygen levels, some benchmarks. You can put some mechanics there, or of course you have some dramatic storyline, like working simulator. As I go and advance, new emotional stories will come, and after I will end it. So you should put importance on that. Yes, intention was good, but the PowerPoint was not that detailed. But in the kingdom, I think it's the early kingdom is like role-playing game. So my question is whether you applied a role-playing game at the infrastructure. Of course, you talked about the story in an excited way, but my recommendation would be that you need to take an example from different role-playing games from the platforms. By testing them, you can understand the mechanics and details. You know, the Baldur's Gate had its reason to choose that Dungeons and Dragons business game. And there's also a game like Solasta. You can consider that this is an open source game. And also, I'm also playing on these games.
If the combat is not working, you have to get the mechanics properly. You only have to maybe share a logo from what you inspired by it. That's what I can say. A hyper casual runner game, because Hero Challenge is the game. Of course, I don't have a lot of comments about it. Of course, running and punching walls, it was a different game, I think. I don't know. It seems time. I don't know if there's an IP problem here, but I don't have a lot of feedback because hyper casual games are more about publishing and you know, pushing the marketing. Of course, there was a similar corridor runner which had high heels that were going bigger and bigger as they run. Of course, it is all about the marketplace, you know. And Ninja's Dungeon, as I've said, I would congratulate you, and I think you have published the game, and you have a proper presentation which I can see and decide. Of course, you know, you published it, and people who would like it similar to Meat Boy, for example. If you like a game like Meat Boy, you would like that. But I think what's important is your vertical slice that is showing that, and I think it should be an example for other guys as well. Also, Grind Age is usually called grinding, similar to grinding, so you might want to change the name. But I think it was a very rich game. I think visuals, maybe graphics were a bit lacking. Maybe we might prefer to maybe make it a bit more colorful. And it reminded me of Magist. You decide on the dungeons in the game, for example. There are good mechanics in that area, but are these grinds are automatically done, or am I setting up properly, or just adding worlds and building and making the world bigger seems very good, and this is great. I think I didn't miss anyone. Hopefully we will be meeting in another conference. Now, I don't know what I can say on top of all these, but in terms of game design, in terms of academics, they evaluated from those sides. I would like to also take the point of view of a marketing guy. I'm not going to go over all of the games because everybody has been said about the technicals. And among the presentations I have listened to today, I think I only had Ninja Dungeon, which would be interesting to me as an investor or a businessman. They showed the project, they showed the strength. I think you realize that he spoke shorter than everybody else. Of course, you can say that it is a game that has been finished, but the presentation was unfortunately the weakness of all of you. The presentations were unfortunately the missing part. The 5 minutes or more is a very luxury. If you are networking globally, or if you're going to have an investment meeting, this is a serious time. There is something called elevator pitch within 3 minutes at max. For example, if your idea is not fitting in a piece of card, you don't have an idea. So you have to think about your presentations like this. Today, if I were here in my publisher identity, there were a couple titles that were good and that I would purchase, but they weren't properly presented. I think you should definitely work on these presentation skills. And on the other hand, I can evaluate it in a gamer's point of view. Hand me a lighter. Of course, maybe because of my age, this story has a very big emotional weight for me, and we heard it in maybe in the close past, and I agree with John right here. The corridors were too big, so you have to be able to make the player feel the claustrophobia. So about the presentations, usually I should be able to understand the idea without taking a look at the screen. If you research what it's going to be and ask a kid what the play was about, and if the kid is able to explain it, if a child is able to explain it, then you have a proper idea and properly executed. Even though I know other acts, for example, in Vendetta Mafia, for example, you started like it was going to be a presentation of 60 minutes. For example, I was very liking the looks of the games, and if I was an investor, for example, that would be the first game I would attacking. But unfortunately, in terms of marketing, that presentation was a weakness. And also, Island of the Creatures is a genre that I really liked, and I think you have to improve your presentation. You seem undecisive. If you're undecisive, nobody's going to bet on you with their money. If you were to go to a shop, for example, if you ask something, if the guy is stopping and thinking about it 3 minutes, for 3 minutes, you wouldn't purchase from him again. So again, your main strength has to be the level design and the story. So you have to focus on that point. So I'm not going to take a lot of time. So I don't want to focus on all of them. I am angry with you because your game is great, but don't have so much confidence. I know as a developer, I trust you. You are extremely challenging and confident. If you're that confident, it seems like you're selling a AAA game, but you know, like Güven right here, they are talking to a class. So don't forget that the investor is the boss and you're talking to them. You have hurt us, unfortunately. I mean, the speaker is not close to the microphone, so we are not able to hear and translate. Hero challenge. I was surprised, for example, I know John Singer, for example, doesn't like that genre, but when you get up here, it seemed like you didn't even want to sell your game. You don't want people to like your game. You know, we would play that game and we were thinking positively, but the guy doesn't even like his own game. So why would we like it or play it is what we'll think. And for investors and marketers, they would have that idea. Again, as I said, there's nothing to say for Ninja's Dungeon. It was the perfect pitch. If it was a meeting, at this point, what I would do is go after them and ask whatever they are needing for a next project. That's what I had in mind. And is there anything that I've missed? Grindage. It is a genre that I like as well. We realize that, but he said this is the game and that finished. Maybe it should have shown a bit more assets, or for example, in games, in a minimalistic games, any thing, for example, we had Satisfactories, we had Minecraft. So what is your point for your game? What is the different thing about your game? You didn't show that, and in addition to that, and to finish it, you are not doing enough networking. That is an issue for me. And all the events that I go to in Turkey, I have to do the networking with you guys, and this is not how it should be. You have to be networking, and I usually, of course, you're all students and you are working great, and nobody's coming up to meet with me. You know, most of the people you know must know that there's game Week in Istanbul, and game marketing and investment is what everybody knows what I'm doing, but nobody's trying to meet with me. So in another event, for example, I've gone over all the stands and I try to gather their business cards. And this is the opposite of what should be. They should come to me. You know, you should try to come to meet with me. So I send their business cards pictures from WhatsApp, for example. We have firms here, investors here, influencers here. We shouldn't be following you all. You should be trying to show yourselves. And all right, thank you. We will continue talking after outside. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody. Now, as you remember, we had a guy who is jumped in to the presentation, and they have applied in the online part, and they weren't able to show their game. And I would like to listen to them because we weren't able to give them the stage. Yali,
Hello. I don't have camera. Yeah. One moment. Yeah, I started my game trailer. Can you see my screen? Screen share. I should open settings, no? Yeah. It's okay, now you can see. Oh, like this? Yes? Okay, great. Thank you. Now you can see my game trailer. This is my new project. Work name is Ghost Shadow. Okay, this is a PC game, action first-person shooter with puzzles and a lot of cutscenes with a great face animation. We're using MetaHuman by Epic Games. You can see it in my game trailer at the end. This is a mix of historical location and fantastic steampunk weapons. Features. This is single player. You have no crowds of other players. All beauty of the graphics and all victories belong entirely to you. Many types of weapons which you can get from enemies. Linear plot, you play the game and watch a movie at the same time. Each level has new unusual mechanics and new game experience for the player. We support the DLSS technology. It gives the best quality and fast picture. Also, we support RTX technology. It's a ray tracing for players who has new video cards. About our game studio. I'm a project manager and my partner is a developer. He makes this game alone. Now I can. Now we're using MetaHuman for face animation. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much. Glad to be here.